Welcome back to the Tailgate Connect podcast. I'm your host, Luke Lorick with Tailgating Challenge. I love tailgating, and I'm so excited with our next guest. He is the broadcast entertainer of the Texas Tailgaters. Brett Loftis is going to be hanging out with us and talking all things Texas Tailgaters, learning more about the Savannah Bananas and all of the fun stuff in these sold-out stadiums across the country. That we're going to blow your mind with some of these numbers. Stay tuned to learn more about this now.
Gather round tailgaters, hear the call, it's game day, y'all. Let's have a ball across the states from college to NFL. Tailgate Connect's got a story to tell.
All right, welcome back to the Tailgate Connect podcast, your home for everything tailgating. And today we have a very special guest with us. We have Brett Loftis from the Texas Tailgaters, the broadcast entertainer for the Texas Tailgaters. Brett, welcome to the most appropriate podcast you've probably ever been on, right?
Yeah, probably so. Anything that's got tailgating in the name, I think I'd be fine with being attached to it, Luke. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, a fellow Palmetto State native myself. I appreciate you having me on here.
No doubt, no doubt. So, I mean, let's talk a little bit about like just right off the jump, like Texas Tailgater. So this is year one, right, for the team. And
Yep.
so, and you got the phone call earlier this year and it said, "Hey, Brett, we want you to be a part of this. We want you to be our broadcast entertainer for the Texas Tailgaters." What were your initial thoughts like whenever that phone call or email came through and they were like offering it to you?
Yeah, it was a process. I started the process in December. I actually did my audition tapes in a cowboy hat, had no idea who the Texas Tailgaters were. I just knew I was applying for the Savannah Bananas to be a broadcast entertainer. And then, went through the process of what I went through. And then, when they called me and sent me over a job offer, I knew it was a pretty big deal. It felt like kind of like a big break in this industry because, as you know, Luke, it's not a whole lot of those that come. And yeah, I feel blessed and fortunate that mine has been able to come at 24. And then you start to think about the brand itself, right? Like, I mean, I've, tailgated my whole life, whether it's been at a NASCAR race or
Right.
college football game or college baseball game or whatever that may be. So I knew I fit the brand there. And in Texas, just representing, the South in general, and obviously our Lone Star State there. And, I just felt like it was a brand I really connected with off rip. And obviously my superiors here in Banana Land thought much of the same, and it was just a blessing, and I was pretty blown away.
I can only imagine. And I feel like I might have jumped in here too fast. Let's rewind just for a second. For those that don't know, and again, if you don't know, it's like where you've been, but like who are the Texas Tailgaters? Like, why are they relevant? Why are they a team that we're talking about aside from just the name of the Tailgaters? Give us a little breakdown about that.
Well, they call us the greatest pregame in sports, and we are one of the 4 teams currently. We'll be one of the 6 teams next year in Banana Ball. You probably heard of the Savannah Bananas, and that's kind of, the team that started it all, started Banana Ball. You have the party animals, you have the firefighters, the Texas Tailgaters, and then, like I said, next year we'll have 2 new teams. So we'll have a league in that next year. So, yeah, the Texas Tailgaters, man, we represent the state of Texas in Banana Ball. I think it's neat because us and the Bananas are the only 2 teams who have a location tied to us. So it's kind of relate in that. And then you also, the party animals are this, bunch that's in your face. They like to party. They like to do all this stuff. They're rough, all this stuff. And then you have us. We're just a tailgating buddy. That's just what we are. But then we just happen to play banana ball, the most entertaining sport, in my opinion, in the world, not just our country, in the world. But it's also a highly competitive sport as well. And, the Texas Tailgaters being in our first year, it's a blessing to find, what our brand is. I feel like we've been able to find that. And obviously we knew what the blueprint was, but continuing to go along and find that and really getting to find our place in Banana Ball and just really blessed to be a part of that whole journey with these guys.
No doubt, no doubt. So I watched a recent game that y'all played against the Savannah Bananas, and I'll be honest because I think it's the first time I've seen like the team play, and I was captivated. And so I guess for those that have never watched a Savannah Bananas game or Texas Tailgaters game, like it's a little bit different, right, than
It's
like your
different.
average like Major League Baseball experience. How would you describe that to a fan that's never watched the game? What that kind of looks like?
Yeah, if a lot of people, we have a lot of detractors, Luke. I've talked about it publicly, and our owner Jesse Cole talks about it a lot. We have a lot of detractors of people who say, you shouldn't be dancing on a baseball diamond. You shouldn't be having, guys doing these things in wigs and all this other stuff. You're probably thinking, Brett, if I've never heard of this, how do I not know? So let me break down banana ball to you. Banana ball is the most entertaining sport in the world. It's baseball but just entertaining and fun. You have guys dancing, you have walk-ups, you have 11 different sets or 11 different set of rules that are different from baseball. And you play on a 2-hour time clock and you have guys steady moving. It's fast paced. It's you win a point at the end of every inning. You just have to win the inning. And then the ninth inning, all runs count as points, right? It's a spin on baseball, but it's our own sport. And as Biko Scal, the Bananas broadcaster, always likes to call it, banana ball is I forget the correct term that he uses, but it's basically the dark sheep. Maybe not dark sheep be the right term, but it's the more fun version of baseball. So we've caught a lot of traction over the past few years. Played on ESPN this year. Be
Sure.
playing on True TV this year. And I think a big misconception about our sport is it's not competitive and that it's rigged. We always get comparisons to the Harlem Globetrotters, and don't necessarily like those because the Savannah Bananas lose. The party animals lose. The Texas Tailgaters, we lose. The firefighters lose. But also on the flip side of that, all four of those teams win. It's a highly competitive sport, and that's why we're aiming to go towards a league in 2026. So there's so many things I could say to describe it, but I would basically say it's the most entertaining form of baseball that you'll ever watch. And it'll keep your eyes locked on it too.
So help me with this. Some other people they heard you say runs versus like points. Like how does all that mesh up to figure out runs versus points? How do you figure out who wins the game?
Well, you get to walk off every inning, right? So if the Texas Tailgaters, we've been the away team the entire year, so we can't walk off an inning as the away team. But the Bananas, who have been home team the whole year, if the Tailgaters go out and score 3 runs in the top of an inning, all the Bananas have to go do is score 4 runs in the home half of an inning, and they win the point for that inning. So in theory, you could have an 18 to 17 inning with runs go, and it would be 1-0 at the end of that inning. Your team gets 1 point. So, Jesse Cole, our owner, he talks about a lot about how, the game is never out of hand. So when you make it to that 9th inning, even if it's 8-0, which I've never seen, but it could be 8-0 in the game of banana ball, which is possible. The away team, or the team that's trailing, I should say, still has a chance to win the ball game because then in the 9th inning, every run then counts as a point. So banana ball is different in the way that, you only have runs that are the only way you can score in regular baseball versus in banana ball. You get a point for every inning, whoever scores the most runs in the inning. And then once you make it to the 9th inning, every run will then count as a point. So that's one of my favorite things about it is that, you could go out and lose an inning 8-1 and it doesn't matter. It's move on to the next inning. We actually had a game this year. We won an inning 8-1 and lost the game. Lost the game because it was great to have that big inning that you had, but you only got 1 point for that. So
Right.
it's an interesting sport. It's the most entertaining sport. Like I said, I'll probably say it again. I think in this world, and it's the greatest show in sports as well.
So like, I appreciate that, but I think some people that are new to it, like that, help connect the dots as to how the scoring and the runs work out there. So you mentioned a little bit earlier, you mentioned the naysayers, the people like, oh, the epitome of baseball is class and sportsmanship and not dancing or wearing capes or doing flips in the backfield, whatever you want to say. So, how do you refute that for those like real purists? Can you reach them? Is it a matter of time, or you feel like that's not the demographic that you're going after?
I think we can reach them. I think it's no different that when you look at banana ball, and I hear people say this all the time, right? I think my mother is a prime example of it. People that don't like sports like banana ball because it's a show, right? While it is a sport, it is also the greatest show in sports. But then for the detractors of your baseball purists who don't like the dancing and don't like the bat flips and don't like the trick plays and maybe don't like other things that we do, I think the way that you get that fan is with the competitive factor. Because if you like baseball, if you like football, if you like basketball, if you like any of your regular traditional sports, if you're a sports fan in general, you have this competitive nature, this yearning for competitiveness. And when you watch something on your television set, when you watch a game, the thing that you're most excited to watch is two teams or two people if it's an individual sport, or 40 race cars like myself on a NASCAR track on Sunday. You like the competitive nature of it. And Banana Bowl is highly competitive. I mean, these guys care so much about winning. These guys care so much. And I think that that's how you tap into that fan base. I think that's why we have gained the traction that we've gotten in our young sports history, because while it is entertaining, while we do have these amazing athletes doing backflip catches, and we got these guys who can hit balls 450 feet, but then they can also choreograph a dance to the latest JoJo Siwa song and lip sync it coming up to the plate, right? Like it's amazing stuff.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, the guy can choreograph it, and the guy can sing it, and he can do it with no shirt on, and he can have a wig on, and then he can step in the right-handed batter's box and hit a ball 450 feet. Like you cannot script the outcome of the game of baseball. So people say that our game is scripted. I hate to hear that. You can't script baseball. Like, Luke, if I told you I was going to throw you 360 mile per hour fastballs, and I would look at you and say, you're going to hit one of these out because we got to script you a home run right here. Unless you can hit a home run, you're not going to be able to hit a home run. And even if you know what's coming, you may not be able to hit a home run. So the competitive nature of our game, I think, is the catalyst to tap into that baseball purist. And listen, there's always going to be people that hate on you. You're always going to have detractors when you're doing something right. When you have a big, large group of supporters, you're going to have some people that don't like it as much. But I think for the people that would take time to sit down and watch it and be able to absorb and like the entertainment stuff, because at the end of the day, I just think our entertainment's great. And I get it. But there's something for everybody when it comes to that. But the competitive aspect of it for your traditional sports fan, I think that is what could really win them over.
I mean, I make the joke. You could tell me, say, "Hey, Luke, I'm throwing you 360-mile-an-hour pitches. Don't worry, I'm probably whiffing on all of them because I am not a baseball player." So there's your script right there for it. But and I know you and I have talked in the past too about whenever you're doing something different and you're starting to get traction and rising a little bit, there are going to be those proverbial haters. But to me, that also means you're doing something right. You're doing something right. If they're not talking, then it's like, maybe I'm not making the waves I thought I was doing, or like changing the whole landscape of baseball. So let me ask you, I don't know if you know this number off the top of your head or a ballpark for it. It just came to me. I'm like, do you know the average attendance or how many attendees like you all have had, like just in the Banana Ball organization for 2025?
I'll
Like
tell you this,
roughly
Luke.
average or a total amount of like tickets purchased?
I don't know our total amounts of tickets purchased, but we sell out everywhere we go. So whatever the max capacity is, whether it's a minor league ballpark or it's at Clemson where they had 81,000 seats, we sell out everywhere we go. That's the coolest thing too. I think for me is like when you're going somewhere. Like I worked in collegiate summer leagues. I went to a D3 school. And you're doing the broadcast for the people at home, for the people that can't be there, right? So, but when you show up to a ballpark and there's 50 people there, it's kind of hard to get up for that game versus now, like that's not even something I have to think about, right? Like when we walked into Citizens Bank Park and we're on ESPN and there's 45,000 people in there, it's like, my goodness. And that's two straight nights, right? It's 90,000 people. So that's special. So yeah, I don't know what our total number of attendance would be this year, but I know we sell out, and we have sold out everywhere we go, and we will sell out everywhere we go for the rest of the year.
So I was going somewhere with this. So let me ask you another question, though, as I slide into this part of it too. Who do you believe your biggest competitor is?
That's a good question. I would say, and I don't say this from an arrogant standpoint. I say this, I don't really know of I don't know. I'm not going to say something that would come off as prideful or arrogant because I don't want to get clipped on that. But I mean, I know there's other leagues out there and other entities in some sports that have tried to do something similar. But I just think Jesse Cole, like I said, our owner, I just think he's done something with what we have here that is so special and unique. And I love something I seen he put on social media the other day. He was talking to the media and talking about Major League Baseball, about how our sport, Major League Baseball is always going to have the greatest baseball players in the world, but we can have the most entertaining baseball players in the world. And that doesn't mean we're rivaling Major League Baseball. That doesn't mean that we're going up against Major League Baseball, right? Like, I still love Major League Baseball. I still love my Atlanta Braves. I'm still going to watch Major League Baseball. But on the flip side of that, you look at UFC and boxing was the analogy that he used, and how UFC came along and is just different than boxing. Doesn't mean that they're, necessarily better or worse. Like, if you like mixed martial arts, you like guys to kick people upside the head, that might be for you. If you're more of just a traditional, jab, uppercut type of guy, and guys go at it for 12 rounds, boxing's for you, right? And they kind of elevate each other in that aspect because they're two of the same entity, but they're so different at the same time. And I think when you look at Major League Baseball and you look at us, we're playing in big league stadiums. And when we go into these big league stadiums, they're nice to us. We're nice to them. We love being there. There's no animosity. I see stuff on social media sometimes talking about how the Savannah Bananas are ruining the sport of baseball, or how they're going to try to join Major League Baseball or any of this. No. It's not a competitive thing. These two things are so different in the same entity that they almost support each other, right? It kind of goes back to your demographics thing. Maybe we're never going to tap into that full demographic. I think we will, because we're competitive. But I think it's kind of like that. So to go back to your question, I don't know if there would be a competitor to us. I mean, every industry has one inevitably. It's just no different than when you go back to the Industrial Revolution in our country. Like, everybody had a competitor, even going all the way back there. But and again, I don't want that to sound prideful, because I know there are other companies and other people who are doing certain things, but for what we do, and the people that we have, as well as they're able to do it, I'm not sure, Luke. And again, I don't say that pridefully. I truthfully don't. I don't know if we have one right now.
No, I think your answer was amazing, because where I was going with this too, because I know there's people, it's like, oh, well, the Savannah League and the Major League Baseball, they're button heads and they're seeing who can be better. One's going to go under, the other one's going to make. I don't see that. And so I just wanted to get your opinion on it. And it sounds like, we're aligned with how we think in regards to the fact that it can be complementary. It can bring more focus just on the general sport of baseball as a whole, which probably in the long run helps everybody involved in that particular sport. So, love it.
Well, you look at our sport when we go and play in these stadiums. We have former major leaguers who come back and play in our games. I mean, we were in Cincinnati this year, and the mayor Sean Casey came, and Todd Frazier came. We're in Philly this year. Shane Victorino was there. You look at when the Bananas played the Firefighters in Baltimore. Nick Markakis was there. Nick Markakis. If you know Nick Markakis, the least flamboyant Major League Baseball player of all time, the guy never even hardly smiled. And he put on a Savannah Bananas uniform and went and played for the Bananas when they played in Baltimore at Camden Yards. So you're spot on there. We have big league players, former big league players, who come and play with us. Brock Holt was in Boston. Bill Lee was, if I went down the list, that would be the entire podcast within itself about all the former big leaguers that come and play with us. So you're spot on there. It is elevating each other. And I think the one wants to see the other one do well, because Major League Baseball, for most of us in college baseball, is where we gained our love for baseball. If I wouldn't have went to Atlanta Braves games growing up, and if I wouldn't have grown up on Jack Leggett at Clemson, then I wouldn't be here in Banana Ball right now, because that's where I found my love for baseball, right? And now I'm in Banana Ball. So I think it's still much of the same, 100%. The other is still elevating the other one, and I don't think it's a competitive factor at all, and not at all.
For sure, for sure. Now, I appreciate that response. And now I got to hit you with probably the most important question that we're going to talk about today. Is there tailgating before the Texas Tailgaters play? I need to know.
Sure is. I think it's been one of my favorite moments of the whole year. Philadelphia, Citizens Bank Park, playing on ESPN. First time Texas Tailgaters making a national television debut. And we go out, Luke, I don't know if you've ever been to the ballpark district in Philly, but they have the Wells Fargo Center, they have Lincoln Financial Field, and Citizens Bank Park. So the home of the Flyers and the Sixers, the home of the Eagles, and the home of the Phillies, all just right there. I mean, it's just right there. And then Old Veterans Stadium is where most of the tailgating goes on in those parking lots. Man, let me tell you, been a lot of tailgates in the Southeast. And then, those people in Philly know how to tailgate, man. And, they were out there tailgating their games. There's obviously going to be a lot of that. In September, we're going on our headliner tour in Texas. A lot of tailgating is going to go on. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the more exciting things. I never played, Luke. I know you're big into the games at tailgates and, you're the cornhole champion of the universe.
I don't know
But
about all that now, but I dabble. I dabble.
have you ever played hockey at a tailgate?
One time, but it was actually at a hockey game, and it was a hockey tailgating game that I brought to it.
Yeah, this was at a banana ball game. Guys out here has a sliding, I don't know what it was, but he had a net, he had a stick and a puck, and there was a little sliding thing with the puck. You had to get in the net. I did not get in the net. One of our pitchers did. But I was just blown away by that. I mean, there was wings out there. You had your traditional tailgate foods, your hot dogs and all that good stuff. But those people in Philadelphia, man, they know how to tailgate. And that's been probably my favorite tailgate I went to this year before one of our games.
So, does any of the team come out for the tailgate before? Like, is that part of it, or they're really focused on getting everything ready for game time, and they're not interacting in the pregame festivities?
Yeah, pregame festivities. Like I said, the tailgating aspect of that, we're going to do a lot of that in Texas, but they interact every pregame. So, kind of standard run of the day for one of our games is the guys will come out and sign roughly at about when the rope drops for the plaza party. So, depending on what kind of stadium we're in, that differs. So, for in a minor league ballpark, the rope drops at 3:30. So then they'll go out and sign at 3:30 or 4 if we're in a major league ballpark, a little bit earlier than that. So they could go out and sign at 2 or 2:30, maybe even 3 o'clock. So they'll go out and sign in the plaza, or maybe even play a little cornhole, play a little. There's this other game they got with the frisbee, and you try to throw it in. I'm blanking on it.
And jam.
Can Jam. There it is. There it is. So, you got all those games, and then you go inside, and we have what we call VIB, which usually starts at around 3:45 in a big league park, 4:45 in a minor league park. And we'll go in there, and you can purchase a ticket, come on the field, get to talk to us, more of an individualized experience, and you get to get on the field, sign for them there. And then from there, you kind of go in your pregame routine, right? Whatever that may be, go and warm up, and guys will still sign pregame. So yeah, whether it be pregaming, tailgating activities or not,
Similar.
guys, yeah, 100%. Guys are always interacting with the fans and always signing and getting to meet people, which I think is also one of the coolest things that we do because when you go to other professional sporting events, and if I'm a massive Aaron Judge fan. Right. I love Aaron Judge. That is my guy. And I want to go to the Yankees game and I want to meet Aaron Judge. I got a 99 jersey on and all, and I got a ball for him to sign. What is the likelihood that I get to meet Aaron Judge? 5%? Maybe?
It's
It's being
slim, but
generous.
most likely.
It's being generous. If I'm a Savannah Bananas fan and I want to go meet Robert Anthony Cruz, I want to meet Coach Rack. Coach Rack is my guy. Likelihood that I get to meet him is pretty high. If I get there early enough when the rope drops and I get there and I get to sign, or I buy a VIB ticket, or I get that, like it's pretty high. If you want to go meet him, you're going to be able to meet him. So I think that's also kind of what separates us as well. The name of our company is Fans First Entertainment, and I think that again that's what really separates us too is always being fanatical about the fan. And I think that even goes with our tailgates, with the Texas Tailgaters, but also just with all 4 of our banana ball teams in general.
No, I mean, I think that's amazing, especially from like a kid's aspect. I mean, even as an adult, sometimes we get giddy if we meet somebody famous or one of our favorite players, right? But again, just like building the brand and making coaches and players like readily available, I think is an amazing thing y'all are doing in regards to that too. So speaking of amazing, and I know we're still kind of early on in the season, what would you say the most amazing moment so far in your journey with the Texas Tailgaters has been?
I'll give you a banana ball one, and then I'll give you a personal one. I don't know. In my broadcasting career, there's been some special moments that I've been able to be on the mic for or be in the ballpark, a part of the broadcast. But this was one when we won our first game in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was on the field and doing my sideline stuff. We go to showdowns, which for those that don't know about banana ball, you go to extra innings in regular baseball. If it's tied at the end of 9 innings in banana ball, you go to something called showdown. So it's a round. You have a hitter, a pitcher, and a fielder in round 1. trying to get inside the park home run. No different than when you played with your buddies or your dad or whomever growing up. Round 2, it's just the pitcher, the catcher, and the hitter. And then round 3, it's the bases loaded. Fielder comes back out with the pitcher and the catcher. And then round 3 on the same rules. So we go to showdowns here. And we get a run in the top half of the inning, bottom half of the inning. First pitch. Mind you, we lost the night before in showdowns. Walk-off grand slam home run. Next day, game 2, second ever game in the history of Texas Tailgate. Guy hits a ball foul. But a fan catches it. Banana ball means that's an out. And so a fan called our final out of our first ever win in Albuquerque, New Mexico. All of our guys went into the stands down the left field line, grabbed him out of the stands. This young man who was about 11 years old, grabbed him out of the stands, celebrated with him. We interviewed him. I interviewed him on the broadcast. The whole team was around him. That was one of those moments, man, where you don't come down from for a long time. Just the first win in our history. And it was just banana ball in a nutshell. I mean, we go to showdowns. A fan catches the foul ball. It's a young boy. We get to interview him on the broadcast. And he's now a legend in the history of the Texas Tailgaters. And that was a special one. The other one, which is pretty funny, that my mother does not like, is this is actually happened twice this year. This has happened twice this year. So, Reno, Nevada, the next weekend, I go to breakfast with the Party Animals broadcaster. His name is Drake Toll. Been a very big influence and been very good to me since I moved down here. Drake and I, we've been in the booth a good bit here the past few weeks as well. I love working with him. And we go to breakfast, and we do a lot of stuff with the entertainment as well, as far as in-game stuff goes, and we're kind of talking over that. And he goes, yeah, Brett, pregame, they're having something called the mascot carry. And since you guys haven't officially unveiled your mascot yet, I volunteered you for that. So I look at him. I said, okay, yeah, for sure. I don't say no to anything. Absolutely, Drake. He said, the mascot carry. I said, okay. So Farty is the mascot for the Party Animals. Big monkey, wears a banana. He fart or poots, if that's not politically correct to use. And so I'm like, okay. He said, the mascot carry. Sends it for a third time. I said, Drake, what is the mascot carry? He said, okay. He said, the players are going to lift you up and have a race. So they're going to do what? So, yeah. So I found myself in a moment, microphone in hand, racing Farty as the players of the Party Animals are carrying Farty and the players of the Texas Tailgaters carrying me. And so we lost that day. But we did avenge that win in Lehigh Valley, July the 5th. We did the broadcaster entertainer carry, where Drake and I were carried. He was carried by the Party Animals. I was carried by the Tailgaters, and we won. And Drake was dropped about 10 feet from home plate. Oh. And I seen my mother the next week in Salem, Virginia. She and my dad came to the games. We went at dinner. We're just talking. She goes, Brett, I don't want you doing that anymore. I said, okay, Mama. Okay. But I think that's just those two stories, man. It's so special. I mean, just getting to be a part of a moment like that, of a win, and just how cool that was for our sport, how cool that was for our team and our brand. And then also just I don't know if silly is the right word, but just some of the other things that we get to do that may scare your mother watching back home 3,000 miles away.
Now, I believe the word silly equals fun, right? And that's what it's all about, right? So silly, fun, whatever we want to plug in there. All right, let's get to know you a little bit better now in the back half of this interview. We're going to bring that tailgating vibe in here. So you're at a tailgate, you're not working, you're just enjoying a fall evening or a fall day, like at a Southeastern Conference game. What are you going to be eating? What is the food of choice? You can have anything on game day at the tailgating party.
That's good. That's good. So I'm gonna have a little grill, right? And I don't want to be the one cooking here, okay? But if I have to, I will. We're gonna take some wings, a little lemon pepper dry rub, okay? I'm gonna need some kind of dipping sauce to go with that. Maybe a ranch. Maybe we just, if it's juicy enough, we can just go lemon pepper dry rub wings just straight into the guzzle, okay? Now, what I also need at a tailgate, I like hot dogs. That's not a necessity for me. I need hamburgers, cheeseburgers, bacon cheeseburgers to be specific here at the tailgate, okay? Need a nice water or soda. If you like an adult beverage, that's for you. And then, you know, Luke, this may sound wild to you. This may sound crazy, may sound off the wall to you.
I like wild.
A nice melon, like a honeydew or a cantaloupe
Okay.
or a watermelon at a tailgate does something to me. And then as we go into the ball game, we come out. Nothing beats eating the leftover remnants of all that food. But then you got some hot pizza there. That's just an ideal tailgate for me. Throwing a little nachos as well, maybe. Sounds like a great day. Doesn't sound like the best day for my stomach on Sunday, but does sound like a great day on Saturday. No, it sure does.
Oh, I'm like, hey, Brett, tell me your favorite food. He's like, all right, well, we're going to start with wings. Then we're going to go to the bacon cheeseburgers. Then we get the melons going. Then we get the nachos flowing. Then we get the hot pizza going. So he hit the gamut of everything out there for for a great full spread at a tailgating party. So you might have answered this question, but I'll just make sure, because the next question was, what's going to be in your cup while you're eating that cheeseburger, that pizza? What would be your normal thing you would drink at a tailgating party?
You know, I don't drink a whole lot of anything other than caffeine and water. But I may dabble, you know, on a nice fall afternoon, strawberry lemonade really hits the spot. So maybe a strawberry lemonade, but probably gonna be some water. I'm big on my hydration, man. So even if it's in a leisurely spot, just give me some good old, as Bobby Boucher says, some high quality H2O, and I'll be good to go. I'll be good to go. I'm very vanilla in that aspect. I love my water.
Excellent. Hey, I should probably drink more water at tailgating parties too. I know, I'm sure my mom would tell me that, right, if she was coaching me up with some of this stuff, but it's all good. All right, so you're at the tailgate, you got your food, you got your drink. What's your favorite game? What's your favorite game? If you could pick any tailgating game that you've ever seen or played, what you going to play?
I mean, we got this new one this year that I really enjoyed playing because it's been a challenge. You're gonna have to help me out here. It's cornhole, but it's not cornhole. You have
Is
a
it?
like a ski
It's
board.
Rams, right? It's Rams. So
Ramps.
skee ball with a beer pong and cornhole element all rolled in one.
Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Okay. I love it. I also love just playing good old backyard football if I'm in a football tailgate. Run a little 7-on-7. You know, you're supposed to be playing two-hand tag, but the boys start to rough you up a little bit. I always love that one growing up too, just playing 7-on-7 football. But Rams, that has been one that one of our pitchers got sent to him as a gift this year. And we've been playing that at some of the pregame parties. So that's one I'm starting to really get into. Obviously played cornhole a lot growing up, played pong, all that good stuff. But Rams I really enjoyed playing that.
No, it's funny. I know the owner of the Rams game, and he was like, man, because I messaged him. I was like, man, I saw the Texas Tailgaters playing your game, man. That's awesome. And he's like, yeah, I've got a connection over there and send him a game. And I was like, I think that was a good investment of your game to get it over to the most fun team in sports, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. You know, you say most fun, we say the greatest pregame in sports. You can just, you know, hey, I like all of them. I like
Somewhere in
anything
there.
positive. Somewhere in there. Somewhere in there. If you say we're the most fun, I just put that on a t-shirt right now. Luke Lorick, most fun pregame in sports, our logo. Write it all.
Well, I mean, if we got to do I got to come out to a game, but I got to see the actual pregame, right, to get in
That's
there
right.
to be able to officially put my name on that thing.
That's right. That's right.
All right, speaking of fun, who's currently the most fun player on the team? Shout him out.
Wow, most fun player on the team. Man, I hope none of the guys watch this and go, why didn't you shout
If so,
me
they
out?
got to step up their fun if they didn't make the top list.
I could cop out and say Zach Blankenship because he's the one that introduced me to ramps. He also has a mullet, which is just cool within itself. Kitchen
Mullet's always
pitches
fun.
with, yeah, Cold Kitchen pitches with kitchen utensils, like legitimately like grill utensils. Nick Lopez, he was an All-American last year at Kentucky, has a blue mustache. You know, by the way, he's at 380 right now. Does the frat boy flick, which is, you know, you see it frat tailgates across the SEC. Man, I would have to most fun. I mean, those guys got Mac Danford. He's a lot like myself, good old country boy. You know, you just slap up a tent and a truck bed, and that's what we call a tailgate. Nothing extravagant. You know, you don't need anything crazy. Travis Munyo, he's the guy that's going to be playing the good tunes, good vibes at the tailgate. So if I had to, I couldn't pinpoint one of them. I mean, we got a lot of just fun guys. Taj Porter, I mean, he's a Louisiana guy. So I actually he invited me over to his house. So we had a crawfish boil preseason.
Nice.
And we played some beer die. and played some ramps there. Maybe Taj is the top of the list. Taj. If I could put Taj on auction, he can make me some of that seafood. I might have to say Taj. So
you can be bought with seafood, crawfish, like that will elevate somebody's spot.
yeah, 100%. You sit me down in a chair, and you give me some shrimp and some kielbasa sausage. I'd never had crawfish before. Taj got it imported from Louisiana too, by the way. So it's just authentic crawfish. I can't be bought. Who can't be bought in today's time and age?
I feel like we learned a lot today about the Texas Tailgaters behind the scenes, what it's all about. But I also learned that Brett loves some food. He loves some
Yes.
food at his tailgating parties, no doubt about it. So that's awesome. All right, if somebody let's say somebody's listening, like, you know what, I think I have what it takes to be a Texas Tailgater. How does somebody even try out or get an opportunity to show their skills?
So you can go to the Savannah Bananas website, and there is a prospective players form you can fill out, and you have to fill that out, and a video, and all that good stuff. And that's kind of how you get in the realm of things. I think when you look at our guys, a lot of them have kind of been sought out. A few of them have done that, but being sought out, and the way you are sought out after is obviously got to be a good baseball player. I think
Sure.
that's towards the top of the list, right? Like we have these conversations all the time, like about what it takes to be a banana ball player, but being a good baseball player enables you to be a good banana ball player. Like we got guys that first round picks in the big league draft. We got guys that signed for over $1 million in bonus money. We got guys that were All Americans in college. Guys who, they've won everywhere they've been. Like they just have every accolade in the book, and they're here. So you got to have that. That's at the top of the list. I think the second thing that you have to have, you got to be a high character person. I think that's what makes this place so special, is because I enjoy going to work every day because of people I get to be around, and just how everybody's so welcoming when I first got here, and everybody continues to be that. Everybody continues to, again, they want to be there for you. Just high character people, high energy people too. At the same time, I think having a social media presence, that's one big thing. Knowing how to work your social media, knowing how to do those things. And those are really the three pillars of being able to be a good banana ball player. But again, it all starts with being a good baseball player and being a high character person and being able to entertain and being able to be fans first always. So there's a lot of things that go into it. You could be the best baseball player ever. You can know how to sing and dance. You can know how to do all these things, but being able to uphold the fans first way is the biggest part of all of that. So.
Well, good stuff. I know you say people are sought out for this. I would love to be a fly on the wall if there was some actual tryouts, because I feel like that would just be the most entertaining thing that I've
Oh,
probably seen in a long time.
there's videos on YouTube of the of tryouts. We had a guy, his name's Jonathan we call him Sunshine. If you ever watched the movie Remember the Titans, he looks exactly like Ronnie Bass. So we call him Sunshine. There's a video of his tryout in Philadelphia last year in 2024. And it kind of takes you behind the scenes of what a tryout looks like. He rides a unicycle. That's right. Yep. He rides a unicycle up to home plate, hits on the unicycle. Actually got his first hit in where were we at? Got his first hit in St. Paul, Minnesota on the unicycle about 2 months into the year. So he rides on the unicycle, and you can kind of, I believe, somewhere on YouTube because I've watched it, but you can kind of go through and see what a tryout looks like. And, they're testing your baseball skills. They're also trying to find out what kind of person you are. They're testing how good you could be at trick plays, but then they're also testing how can you entertain? Because the thing we always say is, entertain always down here. So that's the tryouts are so much fun to go back and watch those. Robert Anthony Cruz has done some videos on his page, Coach Rack, of kind of behind the scenes of the tryout. So if you're into what a tryout looks like, there's some videos out there for you, Luke.
All right. I guess this is a good spot of the show too. Like plug your socials, plug Texas Tailgaters. Where can people find you to see some more of this fun stuff that's going on?
Yeah, the Texas Tailgaters socials are at the Texas Tailgaters, and that's Tailgaters Tailgateers. It's at the Texas Tailgaters on Instagram, TikTok. You can find us on Facebook, the Texas Tailgaters. Find us on YouTube, the Texas Tailgaters. And then for me, it's just Brett and Loftis, BRETTM Loftis, LOFTIS. You find me on Instagram, find me on X, find me on TikTok. I'll accept your Facebook friend request. LinkedIn, if you're into that type of thing, YouTube, whatever that may be. So
What can if people give you a follow after they listen to the show, what can they expect to see on your page?
you're gonna find a lot of stuff about the Texas Tailgaters. I tell you that much. You're gonna see a guy in a pearl snap and a cowboy hat who's very passionate about the Texas Tailgaters. Who's very passionate about our game of banana ball, but wants to interact with you. I think that's the thing. I love to tell people all the time, you know, growing up, especially before social media got big and when you would get a chance to meet somebody that was your hero. Like I remember being that little kid. I remember getting to meet my heroes as they were in the sports world. And the ones that would make you feel really, really good, you rooted for that guy. And the ones that didn't, was like, man, like that kind of felt like somebody stabbed you in the heart. I remember becoming a teenager, becoming a young adult, trying to break into this industry. And, texting people, sending messages to guys on social media and people that I looked up to, and the ones that would text me back or the ones that would DM me back or the ones that would, whatever. And remember thinking the indelible impact. So you're going to see me being passionate about the Texas Tailgaters. You're going to see, my personality, I think, bleed through from the broadcast clips that we share and from the other fun things that we get to do on my social media and in our social media in general. But I also think if you're somebody that wants to reach out or somebody wants you want to get to know me or, you just want to say hello, I try to respond back to everybody as well and try to make those connections because it wasn't too long ago that I was that little kid that wanted to meet one of my heroes and that's never lost on me. So
No, I think that's amazing. I carry a similar principle in life. I know I'm not always perfect, but I try to always respond to people, with that because I think it means something, right? And again, I know you
100%.
and I talked about that like the first time because I messaged you like out of the blue because I was like, this dude's with Texas Tailgaters. Like, I got to talk to him, right? And you responded back like the same day, right? Just with a guy you've never even like met before. And then I think we talked a long time, like in our first like
Talk for an
phone call, just
hour.
like
Yeah.
chatting it up, and we could probably talk all day if we want if we wanted to without any problem at all. So now I appreciate that. Tell everybody out here, like, give a good closeout speech as to if somebody's on the fence with about like bringing their family, spending money to come out to see the Texas Tailgaters, like give them that motivational speech right now to get out there and do it.
I think if you're on the fence about coming and seeing the Texas Tailgaters, the greatest pregame in sports, the best selling point I could tell you, if you have a family of four and you're going to come to the game and you're going to spend $35 on the ticket and you're going to come and you want to buy some merch and you want to come and bring your family to a family-like atmosphere, you're going to be around a lot of like-minded people. You're going to be around a good group of people. I think one of the biggest compliments I get all the time, because we get these from our fans, right? So I'm not in the crowd seeing this. I'm hearing this from fans. We get to interact with them. The thing I've heard a lot from families, that mom and dads will come up to me with little ones and say, we love coming to y'all's games because we know we don't have to worry about somebody being belligerently drunk or somebody doing something crazy in the stands. It's a family-like atmosphere, somewhere where it's safe to bring our kids. It's somewhere where we know that it's going to be the crowd is going to be very like-minded as us. Then you're going to get to see the greatest show in sports. What we get to do on a diamond, where we come out on pickup trucks for an intro, and then we go and we have dance routines in our intros, and then all the other things that we get to do. Oh, and then the banana ball game starts, right? So, and then we have the walk ups, and we have the guy riding the unicycle, and we have all these other things. That's not even talking about pregame and postgame, where we have the Texas Tailgaters band, a singer songwriter, Jason Arndt, and his band. That also he plays on our team and has hit a home run this year. That is performing pregame out in the plaza and postgame. That's not talking about these guys who have hundreds of thousands of followers on social media that will treat you like they're your best friend, right? And it's all these things that when you get to come to one of these environments and you get to we're very fans first about our pricing when it comes to our tickets. We're very fans first about the environment that we promote. We're very fans first when it comes to our merch. We're very fans first about all these things. And I think if you brought your family to our environment, and if you're a sports fan, especially a banana ball fan, I think we could not only win you over for banana ball, but I think we could win you over for the Texas Tailgaters, because I truthfully believe we have such a tight-knit locker room. We have such a great group of high-character guys, as of all four of our teams do. And I think we put on one of the best shows. So I think if you're on the fence about that, you should come to a game and come see those tailgaters and Gator up.
Hey, I'm ready to go to the game right now. All right. So like how long, like when's the season end for 2025? Like when is the last game? So people kind of know like they need to make a move by a certain time.
Yeah, well, there's a lottery list right now. So I don't know if you would even be able to come to a game right now, buying directly from the Bananas for 2025. Um, you would have to get on the lottery list, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The lottery list, I believe the last time I was told, is 3 million people long. But you get on the you get on the lottery list for a game, and you try to get to kind of the game. We'll conclude our regular season in late September, last weekend of September in Houston at the Astros Park at I believe it's Dyken Park against the Bananas last weekend. So I think getting on that lottery list and trying to get ready for 2026 might be the best plan of approach there. But yeah, I think we also have something called the K Club, which is no different than I explain the K Club is like when you look at some of your other programs, like Clemson, I grew up, they had the IPTAY program, or growing up as a Braves fan, they had the A-list program. So you get, special perks, you get access to tickets. And we have the K Club here with Banana Ball. The reason it's called the K Club is because potassium on the periodic table is K, and potassium, as we
It's
know,
in a
is
banana.
that's right. That's right. So that's why that's called the K Club. So if that's something that any of the listeners are interested in joining out there. So yeah, it's tough to get a ticket to one of our games, which I think is a good thing. But I also think, as we move forward in our company and continue to progress, we're going to go to more and more venues across the country. We're going to continue to go to places that are really, really big that allows for people to come and see our show, but we're going to go to places that maybe aren't sought after as much in the macro eye, and we'll be able to give people opportunities that way as well.
Excellent. I mean, again, I'm still like trying to process 3 million deep, 3 million deep on a waiting list.
You and
Like
me
that's just
both.
everything you need to know about the sport right there, right?
3 million people. I mean, you think about how many people 3 million people are. There's states that don't even have 3 million people that live in them. So it's just, man, it's a blessing to get to work for an organization like this, and it's a blessing to get to be around the group of people that we get to be around and the experiences that we get to have. And I wake up every day and I thank the Lord above, for this opportunity and putting me here, because it's nothing that I did. I always believe luck is when when opportunity, or when your preparation meets opportunity, I should say. So, just blessed and really, really lucky to be here and just thankful. So.
No doubt. No doubt. All right. So, this is the Tailgate Connect podcast. And what we do, we have tailgate hosts all over the country, right? From like NFL games to NCAA games where it's easy button tailgating, right? People can just like buy a ticket at tailgateconnect.com. They can just show up. They don't have to bring any food. I don't know if they're going to have every single one of your food choices like that you listed out earlier, like at the tailgate, but they might have some. They might make some special accommodations. So now I'm just going to go ahead and extend this on the air for you and any of the Texas tailgaters. When y'all are done with the season, we need to have y'all come to an actual like tailgate. We'll foot the bill on everything on it. Y'all get out there, have some fun. Be another great way to connect with some people and be in the element of tailgating where you can enjoy a tailgate versus having to focus solely on the game.
I will take you up on that offer, Luke. Don't you worry. I don't know where you guys will be at in mid-late October, the entire month of November, but I'm sure we will find a date and make that work, because nobody loves a college football Saturday afternoon at a tailgate more than yours truly. I've been to them in Clemson, South Carolina, Athens, Georgia, Fargo, North Dakota, as far as that
Yeah.
may range, at NDSU. I love it. So that sounds like a deal there.
Excellent, excellent. So again, we'll connect offline about that, but we'll wrap up the show now. So again, Brett, it's been awesome to have you on the show. Like I could probably talk for another like hour with you about all things behind the scenes with Savannah Bananas and Texas Tailgaters. So for everybody at home, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow Brett. Make sure you follow the Texas Tailgaters, all that stuff, because again, they're making moves. And if you learn nothing else, you learn that Brett loves food And you better get on the freaking waiting list if you want to go to a game. There's 3 million people deep. I'm still going to have to digest this after the show this evening. But thank you all for tuning in. Hit tailgateconnect.com for all of your easy button tailgating needs. And we hope to see you, including you, Brett, at a tailgate soon. Have a good night.
Tailgate Connect.